The Dralex armada had never known defeat. For 3 centuries, they had carved their dominion across the Kepler arm, subjugating 17 sentient species and harvesting resources from over 200 worlds. Their military doctrine was simple: overwhelming force followed by immediate capitulation. The pattern never varied, until Earth. Supreme Commander Vazak stood motionless on the command deck of the inevitable conquest, his 4 eyes fixed on the tactical display. What had begun as a routine expansion operation into an unremarkable solar system had transformed into the most bewildering military standoff in Dralex history. "Status report," he demanded, his voice carrying the metallic resonance typical of his species. Fleet tactician Mersak hesitated, her scales shifting from confidence purple to uncertainty green. "The unknown vessel maintains position, Commander. No additional movement detected." "Impossible," Vazak hissed. "Nothing simply appears, without transition signatures." Yet there it was. The alien warship had materialized between the Dralex Vanguard and the 3rd planet, the only inhabited world in this system, without warning. No hyperjump distortion, no warp bubble collapse. One moment empty space, the next moment presence. The bow vessel defied conventional design logic. It resembled an elongated arrowhead, matte black with no visible propulsion system, weapons arrays, or communication nodes. Its surface absorbed sensor scans rather than reflecting them. Most disturbing was its size, nearly 3 times larger than the inevitable conquest, itself the flagship of the Dralex fleet. "They've made no attempts at communication?" Vazak asked. "None, Commander. However," Mersak paused, checking her instruments again. "We're detecting unusual energy patterns throughout their hull. Configuration unknown." Second Commander Vrilak, usually the most aggressive of Vazak's officers, stood unnaturally still beside the tactical display. "We should withdraw," he said quietly. The suggestion was so unexpected that the command deck fell silent. Dralex military protocol had no provisions for withdrawal without engagement. "Explain," Vazak demanded. "The mathematics are wrong," Vrilak replied. "This system contained one technically primitive species according to our advanced scouts. Their most advanced vessels were chemical-propelled and atmosphere-bound. This," he gestured at the display, "cannot be theirs, yet it protects their world." Vazak's inner eyelids flickered in contemplation. "Perhaps they have guardians, other species who arrived before us. If so, why have we detected no communication between the planet and the vessel? No radio transmissions, no quantum entanglement. Signals, nothing." The bridge fell silent again. "We will assert dominance," Vazak finally decided. "Deploy attack formation Delta. Target their propulsion systems if they can be identified." The Dralex battle group shifted, 27 warships arranging themselves into the feared crescent formation that had broken planetary defenses across 3 sectors. The alien vessel remained motionless. "Weapons charged," announced Weapons Officer Nuzak. "Targeting solutions acquired, as best as possible given their stealth properties." "Fire on my mark," Vazak commanded, raising his primary arm. Before he could give the signal, Communication Officer Prezak turned sharply. "Commander, we're receiving a transmission. Text only, broadcasting on all frequencies." "Display," Vazak ordered. The message appeared on the main screen, translated by the ship systems into Dralex script, UNSC Thermopylae. "Earth Defense Force. You have entered restricted space. You will depart immediately or be destroyed. UNSC." Vazak questioned. "United Nations Space Command," Mersak answered, her scales now anxiety yellow. "According to our limited intelligence, that's the primitive governing body of the 3rd planet." "Impossible," Vazak whispered. "Their technology was assessed at level 2. This vessel is, at minimum, level 9. At that moment, the tactical display updated. Small apertures had appeared along the hull of the Earth vessel. Energy surge. Nuzak shouted, "Massive power readings!" Vazak stared at the alien ship, all four of his hearts pounding in his thorax. For the first time in his 3-century military career, Supreme Commander Vazak of the Drelex Armada felt something unfamiliar crawling up his spine. Fear. All ships, he commanded. Maintain position. Do not move. Ambassador Aurela Castor had watched humanity for 18 Earth years. From her hidden observation post on their moon, disguised as a simple impact crater, she had monitored their television broadcasts, intercepted their internet traffic, and analyzed their military capabilities. Her mission was to determine whether humans would be valuable additions to the Galactic Commonwealth or if they represented a potential threat. She had concluded they were fascinating, but ultimately harmless. Technologically creative but fractious. Their propensity for internal conflict had prevented them from achieving true unity or technological transcendence. But now, staring at the impossibility unfolding before her, Aurela questioned everything. Verification complete. Her assistant, Lenz announced, his 3-fingered hands moving rapidly over the holographic interface. The vessel designating itself UNSC Thermopylae contains no life signs we can detect. That's not possible, Aurela whispered. A vessel of that size would require a minimum crew of several hundred. Nevertheless, scans confirm no biological signatures. And the technology? Lenz hesitated. Components appear to be human in origin, but impossibly advanced. The power source alone outclasses anything in the Commonwealth arsenal. Aurela's silver eyes narrowed. Could the Drelex have detected our observation post? Negative. Our stealth systems remain operational. The situation defied explanation. Humanity had been assessed at technology level 2, capable of rudimentary spaceflight, but limited to their own solar system, their fastest vessels requiring months to reach their neighboring planets. Yet this warship, this impossible warship, positioned between Earth and the Drelex invasion fleet, displayed capabilities beyond even the most advanced Commonwealth species. What are our orders? Lenz asked quietly. Aurela hesitated. Commonwealth protocol was clear. Remain hidden, observe, and report. Direct intervention in pre-contact civilizations was strictly forbidden. Continue monitoring, she decided. But prepare our emergency beacon. The Commonwealth needs to know about this development immediately. Lenz moved to comply, but paused as new data streamed across his console. Ambassador, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from Earth's surface. Show. Me. The holographic display shifted, highlighting dozens of locations across the planet's surface, each pulsed with the same exotic energy signature as the mysterious warship. They're powering up, Lenz whispered. Whatever technology drives that. Vessel. There are more installations planetside. Aurela's mind raced. Had she misread humanity so completely? Had they been concealing their true technological capabilities, waiting and watching while Commonwealth observers cataloged them as primitive? Ambassador, Lenz interrupted her thoughts. The Drelex are transmitting. Let me hear it. The communication was terse. Unknown vessel. This is Supreme Commander Vazak of the Drelex Armada. Identify your intentions and allegiance. There was no immediate response from the human vessel. Minutes passed in tense silence. Then, without warning, a new transmission broadcast across all frequencies. This is Captain Alawan Karga of the UNSC Thermopylae. We have no interest in dialogue. Your species has been classified as Threat Level Alpha by Earth Defense Intelligence. You have 3 standard minutes to reverse course and exit this solar system. Aurela felt her scales prickle with alarm. The voice was cold, emotionless, almost synthetic. Captain Alawan Karga, she repeated. Lenz, search our human database for this name. Lenz complied, then looked up in confusion. No matches found in any military registry, government database, or public record. How is that possible? Humans document everything. Before Lenz could respond, the tactical display flashed. The Dralex invasion fleet had shifted formation, arranging into an attack posture. "They're preparing to engage," Len said unnecessarily. Orella watched in horrified fascination. The Dralex had conquered 17 species with their military might. Their technology was centuries ahead of what humanity should possess. "They're making a mistake," she whispered. The human vessel, the impossible vessel, remained perfectly still against the backdrop of stars, its black hull absorbing all light. Waiting. Orella activated the Commonwealth Emergency Protocol. Whatever happened next, the Galactic Council needed to witness it. Dr. Izara Vess had seen the impossible before. As Earth's leading quantum physicist and the director of Project Umbra, impossibility was practically her job description. But even she felt her breath catch as she watched the primary display in the underground command center beneath the Antarctic ice. "Status report," she demanded, her voice steady despite the tension gripping the room. Major Koro Nyack, her military liaison, stepped forward. "Thermopylae is holding position as programmed. The alien fleet has arranged into what our analysis suggests is an attack formation. And our response protocols? Active and awaiting your authorization, Doctor." 200 brilliant minds filled the command center, representing the most classified military project in human history. For 15 years, they had worked in absolute secrecy, ever since the first Dralex scout ship had been detected at the edge of the solar system. 15 years of preparation for this exact moment. "The quantum fold is stable?" Izara asked, turning to her chief engineer. Dr. Destin Wraith nodded, his eyes never leaving his console. "Dimensional pocket maintaining integrity at 98.7%. Thermopylae's shell structure is performing exactly as simulated." Izara allowed herself a small smile. The shell structure. That was the key innovation that had changed everything. A vessel that existed simultaneously in normal space and in a dimension folded just beyond conventional reality, allowing for technologies that defied the understood laws of physics. "Communications from the Dralex?" she asked. "They've requested identification of our intentions and allegiance," replied Lieutenant Naomi Vale, head of Xenolinguistics. "Standard protocol before they commence hostilities, based on our intelligence." "Send." The prepared response. "Authorization, Vess Omega 9. Lieutenant Vale's fingers danced across her interface. "Message sent, Doctor." On the main display, the Dralex fleet remained in attack formation, but hadn't advanced. The massive alien armada, instruments of conquest that had subjugated 17 other worlds according to the data retrieved from the captured scout ship, seemed to hesitate before the lone Thermopylae. "They're scanning us," reported Dr. Wraith. "Attempting to penetrate our defenses." "Let them try," Izara said softly. "The quantum fold will absorb and redirect their sensor beams." Major Nyack shifted uncomfortably beside her. "Doctor, perhaps we should consider diplomatic options. The President is on standby." "The President authorized this operation precisely because diplomacy isn't an option with the Dralex," Izara cut him off. "Their pattern is established across 17 conquered worlds. They don't negotiate, they dominate." "But we're revealing our technological capabilities," Nyack persisted. "Once they know, they won't live to tell anyone," Izara interrupted coldly. "That's the point of Project Umbra. We eliminate this threat, and the galaxy continues to believe Earth is a primitive, pre-spaceflight civilization." An alarm sounded, drawing everyone's attention to the tactical display. "Energy buildup detected in the Dralex fleet," announced the sensor officer. "They're powering weapons systems." Izara's expression hardened. "Exactly as expected. Major Nyack, initiate Defense Protocol Epsilon." Nyack hesitated only for a second before inputting the command sequence. On the main display, small ports opened, along the Thermopylae's previously smooth hull. "Quantum displacement weapons online," reported Dr. Wraith. "Targeting solutions acquired." Izara stepped forward, her reflection visible in the massive screen showing the standoff in space. For 15 years, she had dedicated her life to ensuring Earth would never face the fate of those 17 other civilizations. For 15 years, she had carried the weight of humanity's survival on her shoulders. Now, the moment of truth had arrived. "All stations," she announced, her voice carrying throughout the command center, "prepare for Phase 2. If the Dralex fire upon our vessel, execute the Thanatos Protocol." The room fell silent except for the soft beeping of monitoring equipment. In space, the two forces remained locked in their deadly standoff, the massive Dralex armada against the single black warship that shouldn't exist. They didn't dare move. When Earth's warship appeared. But soon, Izara knew, they would, and humanity would be ready. Supreme Commander Vazak had conquered worlds across 3 sectors of space. He had faced desperate last stands, suicide attacks, and technological surprises. But nothing in his extensive military career had prepared him for the cold, methodical response of the human vessel. "Commander," Mersak reported, her scales now fluctuating between anxiety yellow and decision blue, "our sensors cannot penetrate their hull beyond the surface layer. However, what we can detect suggests technology that contradicts all intelligence on human capabilities." "Could they have stolen this vessel?" Second Commander Vrilak suggested. "Perhaps from a more advanced species?" "Irrelevant," Vazak decided. "Whatever its origin, it stands between us and our objective, and it has explicitly threatened us with destruction." The command deck fell silent as the tactical display updated. The human vessel remained motionless, its weapon ports open but dormant. Behind it, the blue-green world of Earth rotated serenely, unaware, or perhaps acutely aware, of the confrontation occurring in its defense. "The 3-minute ultimatum expires in 30 seconds, Communications Officer Prezak announced. Vazak's inner eyelids flickered rapidly as he processed his options. Dralek's military doctrine offered no protocol for retreat without engagement. To return to the ascendancy without attempting conquest would mean his execution. Yet something about this solitary defender triggered instincts older than his military training. "Launch probing attack," he commanded finally. "Single destroyer, minimal weapons discharge. Let's test their capabilities." The destroyer Relentless Advance broke formation, moving toward the human vessel while charging its forward plasma cannons. It was a standard Dralex tactic: sacrifice a smaller vessel to gauge enemy response before committing the main fleet. "Relentless Advance in firing position," Nuzak reported. "Fire," Vazak ordered. Brilliant blue-white energy lanced from the destroyer toward the motionless Thermopylae. The plasma bolt, capable of vaporizing a small moon, struck the black hull directly and disappeared, not deflected, not absorbed. Simply gone, as though it had never existed. Before anyone could react, the apertures along the Thermopylae's hull illuminated with a soft purple glow. "Energy spike!" Mersak shouted. "Unprecedented levels!" From the human vessel, a beam of concentrated darkness erupted, not energy as the Dralex understood it, but what appeared to be a controlled rift in space-time itself. It struck the Relentless Advance midship. The destroyer didn't explode. It didn't break apart. Instead, it simply ceased to exist, leaving not even debris behind. One moment a warship with 300 crew members, the next moment empty space. Silence gripped the command deck of the inevitable conquest. What weapon is that?" Vrilak whispered, his voice barely audible. Before Vazak could respond, their communication system activated again. "This was your only warning. You have witnessed quantum displacement technology. Your vessel was not destroyed. It now exists in a pocket dimension from which there is no return. The rest of your fleet will suffer the same fate in exactly 60 seconds unless retreat is initiated." This timeline is non-negotiable. Vazak stared at the message, his four hearts pounding arrhythmically. In 3 centuries of military service, he had never contemplated retreat. Until now. All vessels, he commanded, his voice surprisingly steady. Initiate immediate withdrawal, maximum velocity. No one questioned the order. As the Dralex fleet reversed course, Vazak remained fixated on the tactical display. The human vessel, the impossible vessel, maintained its position, weapon ports still glowing with that unnatural purple light. Supreme Commander, Murtak said quietly, we must report this to the Ascendancy. This technology, it changes everything. Yes, Vazak agreed, watching as his fleet accelerated away from Earth. But I wonder if they'll believe us. He had a feeling they wouldn't. And for the first time in his long career, Supreme Commander Vazak found himself hoping that the Ascendancy would dismiss his report as cowardice or hallucination, because if they believed him, they would return to Earth with a force 10 times larger, and Vazak was no longer certain that even that would be enough. Quantum displacement confirmed successful, Dr. Wraith announced, his voice carefully professional despite the collective gasp that had swept through the command center. Target, vessel completely removed from our dimensional plane. Dr. Izara Vess nodded, betraying no emotion despite the historic significance of what they had just witnessed. The first deployment of quantum displacement technology against an actual target. Tracking status of remaining vessels? They're so... Retreating, Doctor, reported Major Nyack, unable to keep the wonder from his voice. All 26 remaining ships have altered course and are accelerating away from Earth. A cheer began to build among the younger staff members, but Izara silenced it with a raised hand. Maintain Thermopylae in defensive posture until they've cleared the heliopause. This isn't over yet. As the excitement subsided into focused professionalism, Izara turned to her secondary display, which showed another feed that the rest of the command center couldn't see. It revealed an alien observation post on the far side of the moon, one that had been monitoring Earth for nearly 2 decades, the Commonwealth Watchers, just as expected. Project Umbra had never been solely about the Dralex threat. It had always been about establishing humanity's position in the galactic order without revealing their true nature or capabilities. A delicate balance of deterrence without provocation. Dr. Vess, Lieutenant Vale called out, we're detecting a high-energy transmission from the lunar observation post. It appears to be directed toward the Carina Sagittarius arm. Let them report, Izara replied calmly. That's part of the plan. The command center continued to track the retreating Dralex fleet as it accelerated toward the outer solar system. On another display, the quantum status of the Thermopylae showed stable, its revolutionary technology performing exactly as designed. Doctor, Major Nyack said quietly, stepping closer to Izara's station. May I ask what happens now? We've revealed our quantum displacement technology. The galaxy will know we're not the primitive species they thought we were. Izara allowed, herself a small smile. Will they, Major? What exactly will they know? Nyack frowned in confusion. They saw one vessel, Izara explained, with technology that doesn't match anything they've encountered before. A vessel with no detectable crew, using weapons that defy conventional physics. Do you think their first conclusion will be, the humans have suddenly advanced 1,000 years technologically? Understanding dawned on Nyack's face. They'll assume we have protectors. Precisely. Some unknown, highly advanced species that has claimed Earth as a protectorate. The Commonwealth observers will report this hypothesis to their superiors, and the Dralex will report something similar to their ascendancy. And both will keep their distance from Earth, Nyack concluded. While we continue our technological development in peace, Izara confirmed. Project Umbra isn't just a defense system, Major. It's a misdirection on a galactic scale. Across the command center, the staff continued their work, monitoring the Thermopylae and the retreating Dralex fleet. None of them, except for Izara's inner circle, knew the full scope of what they were participating in. "There's something else you're not telling me," Nyack observed shrewdly. Izara studied him for a moment before responding. "The quantum displacement technology has implications beyond defensive capabilities, such as the ability to create stable wormholes, to fold space-time in ways that allow for practical faster-than-light travel." She paused. "The Thermopylae isn't just a weapon, Major. It's a prototype." Nyack's eyes widened. "You mean, while the galaxy believes we're a primitive species under the protection of some mysterious benefactor, we'll be quietly expanding, exploring, establishing ourselves among the stars." On the main display, the Dralex fleet continued its retreat, now approaching Neptune's orbit. The Thermopylae remained in position, its quantum displacement weapons still primed. "And if they ever discover the truth?" Nyack asked. Izara's expression hardened. "Then they'll learn what happens when you threaten a species that has spent its entire evolutionary history preparing for threats. Humanity has been fighting itself for millennia, Major. Imagine what we can do when we finally have a common enemy, the I." Command Center fell silent as the implications of her words sank in. Earth would survive, Earth would advance, and the galaxy would never see it coming until it was too late. Ambassador Orella Castor's report to the Galactic Commonwealth Council caused an uproar unprecedented in the 7,000-year history of the institution. Representatives from 217 species gathered in the Great Circular Chamber on Nexus Prime argued vociferously over the implications of what had transpired in the Sol system. "The evidence is conclusive," Orella stated, her holographic projection standing in the center of the chamber. The vessel designating itself as UNSC Thermopylae employed technology unknown to the Commonwealth. It neutralized a Dralex destroyer using what appears to be dimensional displacement technology. High Chancellor Zalvin leaned forward, his crystalline form reflecting the chamber's lights. "Ambassador, your assertion that this vessel originated from Earth contradicts all established intelligence on human technological capabilities." "I have offered no such assertion, Chancellor," Orella replied carefully. "I merely report what was observed. The vessel claimed Earth affiliation, but its technology is incongruent with known human development." "Then who built it?" demanded the Vorchan representative, their tentacles writhing in agitation. "Unknown," Orella admitted. "But consider, in the 17 standard years that I have observed Earth, humans have progressed from primitive chemical rockets to rudimentary ion drives. Their rate of technological development exceeds any species in Commonwealth records." Murmurs spread through the assembly. "Are you suggesting," asked the Firian ambassador slowly, "that humans have somehow concealed their true capabilities from our observers?" "I suggest nothing," Orella replied diplomatically. "I merely present facts. A vessel of unknown origin using technology beyond our understanding appeared to defend Earth from Dralex aggression. These facts require explanation." The debate raged for hours. Some council members argued that Earth must have acquired advanced technology through unknown means. Others insisted that some unidentified species had claimed Earth as a protectorate. Still others suggested more outlandish theories involving temporal anomalies or interdimensional interference. Only one representative remained silent throughout. The ancient Zool observer, whose species had achieved technological transcendence millennia ago and retained council membership merely as advisors. Finally, as the debate reached a crescendo, the Zool observer rose. The chamber immediately fell silent. The Zool spoke perhaps once in a decade, and always with profound impact. "You missed the central question," the Zool observer stated, their voice resonating with harmonics that calmed the assembly. "Not who built this vessel, but why they chose to reveal it now." The council chamber remained silent as the implications settled. "A species that can create technology capable of dimensional manipulation would have no need for pretense," the Zool continued. If humans possess this technology, they have deliberately concealed their capabilities. If another species protects them, that species has chosen this precise moment to reveal themselves after allowing our observation of Earth for decades. The High Chancellor's crystalline form vibrated with concern. You suggest deliberate manipulation? I suggest we have been shown exactly what someone wanted us to see, the Zool replied. And that is interesting. Across the galaxy, in the central chamber of the Dralex Ascendancy, Supreme Commander Vazak faced his own tribunal. Unlike the reasoned debate of the Commonwealth Council, Dralex military proceedings were direct and brutal. You retreated, stated Arch Commander Rulax, his voice dripping with contempt, without engaging the main fleet. I made a tactical decision based on observed capabilities, Vazak replied, standing rigidly at attention. The human vessel displayed technology beyond our understanding. Humans are primitive, Rulax dismissed. Technology level 2 at most. Whatever you encountered was not of human origin. The vessel identified itself as Earth Defense Force, Vazaki countered. A deception, Rulax declared. Some unknown species has claimed Earth as territory. We will return with sufficient force to overcome any defense. Vazak's inner eyelids flickered with suppressed emotion. With respect, Arch Commander, I would advise against this course of action. The technology displayed by the Defender was not merely advanced. It was fundamentally different. My tactical assessment suggests... Your tactical assessment is compromised by cowardice, Rulax interrupted. You will be relieved of command. The Ascendancy will dispatch the 7th Fleet to the Sol system immediately. Vazak knew better than to argue further. The decision had been made, but as he was escorted from the chamber, he couldn't shake the feeling that the Ascendancy was making a catastrophic mistake. In the Antarctic Command Center, Dr. Izara Vess reviewed the latest intelligence reports. The quantum sensors deployed throughout the solar system had intercepted both the Commonwealth Council's deliberations and the Dralex Ascendancy's decision. Just as predicted, she remarked to Major Nyack. The Commonwealth debates while the Dralex prepare to attack. And we'll be ready, Nyack affirmed. The Thermopylae performed perfectly. Izara's expression remained serious. The Thermopylae was a test case, Major. For what comes next? She gestured to a secure display, revealing schematics for a fleet of vessels similar to the Thermopylae but with significant advancements. Project Umbra Phase 2, she explained. While the galaxy debates who protected Earth, we'll be launching humanity's first true interstellar fleet. The Dralex are sending their 7th Fleet, Nyack pointed out. Izara's lips curved into a cold smile. Let them come. When they arrive, they'll find not one Thermopylae, but 50. And unlike our prototype, these won't be remotely operated. They'll be crewed by our best and brightest. On the main display, the schematic expanded to reveal a network of quantum fold generators positioned throughout the solar system, humanity's new defense grid. For too long we've fought ourselves, Izara said quietly. Nation against nation, ideology against ideology. But now, having seen what waits beyond our atmosphere, conquerors like the Dralex, watchers like the Commonwealth, humanity has finally found its true purpose. Unity, Nyack realized. Unity through necessity, Izara corrected. The greatest gift the Dralex gave us was showing us what we might become if we didn't change. Outside the command center, in bases hidden beneath Earth's oceans, mountains, and deserts, thousands of newly commissioned officers prepared for deployment. Engineers finalized the quantum fold drives for 50 warships. Scientists refined the dimensional displacement weapons that had so thoroughly shocked the Dralex. Humanity had spent 15 years preparing for first contact, not with open arms, but with clenched fists. And when the Dralex 7th Fleet arrived, they would discover a fundamental truth about the species they had dismissed as primitive. Humans don't just adapt to threats. They transform into something the galaxy has never seen before. The Dralex hadn't dared move when Earth's warship appeared. Next time, they wouldn't be able to move at all.